half-hour yoga class this morning. This is a gentle class that will help us open up through the chest and the shoulders, help create mobility through the spine and hips, as well as a little bit of strength based in the legs. So please look after yourself in this class. Yoga is a healing practice. Yoga should never be painful, it should never hurt. So if you do find that any poses don't work for your body, please back off, have a rest, or adjust any poses so that they work for you. Yeah? Some of the work today we're going to do down on the mat. If you don't want to sit down on the mat, if that's not for you today, please just come onto a chair as we begin the class. And the following poses, the following asanas that we'll be doing after our little opening meditation, just do them on your chair, and then you can join us in the standing position when we're ready. If you have a yoga mat, please use it. If not, perhaps you'll go just on a carpeted floor or on a towel, whatever works. Yeah. If you have a big, thick cushion to sit on, that's also an option. Just prop it under your hips, and it's a little bit easier to sit on the floor. So the main thing right now is that we want to be comfortable. So maybe you sit back on your heels, maybe you come to cross-legged, or maybe you just sit on a chair. Whatever works. And let's take a moment to just bring our hands to our heart center. This is called Anjali Mudra, the mudra of the essential heart. And let's take a moment to just close down the eyes. And drop into our practice. We take a moment to welcome ourselves into the yoga space. So just gently finding length through the spine, from the sit bones all the way up to the crown of the head. And then we relax the belly, relax the shoulders, relax the jaw, the base of the tongue, relaxing the backs of the eyes. And we bring our awareness to our breath. Just see where you can notice your breath today. Paying attention to the inhales, the exhales, and also that quiet space in between your breaths, when your body is absolutely still, suspended and spacious. Finding length through the spine on the inhales, and again just relaxing on the exhales. As we feel ready, just gently opening the eyes, and we let our mudra dissolve. So if you're on a chair, please stay there. If you're on the floor, let's come onto all fours. So our hands are underneath our shoulders, the knees are underneath our hips, and here we're going to gently just warm up through the spine. So on the in-breath, lift your tailbone, lift your chest and your eye gaze to the sky. And as we exhale, we round the spine. Tuck the tail, tuck the chin. And we go again, breathing in, really arch your back as much as you can. Eyes up. Breathing out, rounding. If you are in a seated position, just arching the backs as much as we like on the inhale. And as we exhale, just allowing the spine to round and curve. In yoga, there is no right or wrong. There's no hierarchy between the poses or how we look or our specific position. It's all expressions of the same movement, of the same pose, of the same asana. So wherever we are, taking one more round of breath, inhaling to really arch, exhaling to round. Coming back to a neutral spine, and on our next inhale, we shall lift our right arm and open the chest. As we exhale, thread your right arm under the left arm toward the opposite side of the room. And again, breathing in to lift and open. Breathing out to thread the arm through as far as feels good. So if you're in a seated position, working over here, inhaling to open and look back, really stretching through the fingers, stretching through the wrists. And we exhale to just return. Inhale to open, look back as far as you can, really stretching. Exhale to return. And one more round of breath all together wherever we are. And we exhale, hand comes back to the floor. Alright, let's come to the other side. Big breath in, lifting and opening. Breathing out. Wrapping and releasing. So starting to really pay attention to our breath over here. Allow your breath to be the teacher. Allow your breath to be the guide. Allow the breath to really be the initiation of your movement today. And feel free to just move in your own timing. Your timing might be faster than mine, it might be slower than mine. Just really moving in a way that feels good to us. Taking one more round here wherever we are. And bringing our hand down on the exhale. From here, sinking the hips back, stretching the arms forward, and if it's possible, we can rest our forehead on the floor. Otherwise, perhaps you place your cushion under your forehead and rest your forehead on a cushion if that feels better. If we're in a seated position, just allowing ourselves to round forward, bringing the belly toward the knees. Almost like if we're slouching a little bit, really stretching through the back. From our child's pose, if you're on the floor, come with me. If you're on the chair, just stay right where you are for a moment. So from our child's pose, bringing ourselves up onto our hands and knees again, and from here we lower all the way down, crocodile pose, chaturanga. So relying on our belly, and bringing our hands underneath the shoulders. Big breath in to roll the shoulders back and lift the chest. So here we really want to use the spine muscles to lift us rather than our hands. And it doesn't matter how high we go, how low we go, as long as we feel a little bit of work through the glutes and through the lower back. Working to open the chest and really breathe in this low cobra position, Bhujangasana. If it's too much, the elbows can come underneath the shoulders for more of a passive position here, but still a position that helps us mobilize through the back. And from here, the hands come underneath the shoulders. And we push ourselves up and back onto the knees. We tuck the toes, and we lift the hips as high as we can for downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. In this position, it can feel really good to just bend one knee and press the other heel into the floor. Other side. Pressing alternating heels into the floor, stretching throughout the calves, throughout the back of the body, making sure we relax the shoulders away from the ears in this position. Making sure we're pushing down through all our knuckles, all our fingertips. And from here, inhaling, lifting our right leg to the sky, three-legged dog. Exhale, step your right foot between the hands. So if you're on a chair, join us from here. Now if your foot didn't get all the way forward, that's fine. Let's help it forward so that your stance is as wide as possible. And then the back heel comes to the floor. So we're preparing for warrior one. Breathing in to lift the arms overhead as high as you can, really stretching. And as we breathe out, we bend into the front knee. And we push down through the outside edge of the back foot. Now that should feel like a nice stretch outside edge of your calf, and hopefully here in your hip flexor and your shoulders. So again, breathing in to really stretch up, breathing out, bending into the front knee, and trying to get that front knee to line up right above the ankle. And as we stay here and breathe, trying to focus on squaring the hips forward. Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1. This is where we embrace the strength, the courage, the power of the warrior. Big breath in to stretch here. And as we breathe out, the hands come through the heart center, and we open up to Warrior 2. So adjust your feet a little bit, and see if you can line up your front heel with the arch of your back foot. The arms go wide, and again we sink down into the front knee. Seeing if we can get the front knee to line up right above that ankle. Again, pushing down through the outside edge of your back foot. So this should feel like a little bit of strength work for the legs. And we're really opening through the chest here, stretching through the fingertips, becoming strong and powerful in our upper body. From Warrior 2, we reverse. So front arm, palm up. Breathing in, lifting, stretching. And as we breathe it out, C-shape the spine and reach back. Should feel like a lovely stretch down the side body. Eyes can be up or eyes can be down if that feels more comfortable. Now if it's a bit hard to balance in this position, maybe you have a chair next to you so you can hold on. Yeah. From here we inhale through the center, exhale to bring your hands down to the floor, or if you don't want to come down, you can just stay up because all we're going to do here is change sides. Yeah? Bringing the front foot back into plank, and here we have an option of staying on the toes or coming down onto the knees as we bend the elbows and lower down again for Chaturanga. Breathe and roll the shoulders for your low cobra. Or for those of us who want to try it out, come into a high cobra, pushing the shoulders away from the ears, lifting the chest. Or again, your option is for the passive stretch, coming to Sphinx pose, elbows, forearms on the floor. Letting go of expectation, letting go of judgment, and just enjoying the pose we're in. That is all that yoga is about. From here we meet in downward dog, lifting the hips really high. If you're standing, step your left foot in front this time. If we're on the floor, inhale at your left leg to the sky, really stretching up. And we exhale, stepping the left foot through between the hands. Again, if it doesn't get all the way, let's help it forward. How far can we go? And the back heel comes down. Breathing in, arms lift. And we breathe out to sink down into the hips. Now again, if it's a bit hard to balance, maybe you're holding on to something, or maybe you step your feet a little wider, so you're kind of on train tracks here for your warrior pose. That's also going to help us square those hips forward and bring a deep stretch into the hip flexor. Breathing in, hands come together. As we breathe out, hands come through the heart center, and we open up for Warrior 2. Adjusting the feet. And in this position, see if you can tuck your tailbone under slightly to really open those hips. Now, common in this pose is that your front knee wants to really fall in like this. So let's see if we can squeeze the glute and push that knee outwards toward your pinky toe. And now our knee is nicely aligned along with that ankle for beautiful alignment, very beautiful flow of breath and energy. From Warrior 2, we reverse. So bringing that front arm palm up, inhale to stretch up. Exhale, C-shape your spine, and we try to keep that bend in the front knee. Inhaling through the center, and we exhale, hands come to the floor. Again, if you're up, you might want to stay there. We'll be right with you in a moment. The rest of us, front foot back to plank. So your option is to come to your knees or stay on your toes. The main thing here for your crocodile chaturanga is that your hips and shoulders move together. Inhale for your back bend. Low cobra, high cobra, or sphinx pose. Just making sure that we're honoring our spine, honoring our bodies. And we exhale to meet in downward facing dog. Next in-breath, we're all going to walk our feet forward all the way to the front of the mat. Bending the knees as we exhale, come into Uttanasana, forward fold. So relaxing, releasing through the head, the shoulders. And if your lower back doesn't like this, maybe you bring your elbows to your knees and just bending your knees a little bit more to take support. Yeah. From here, halfway lift, Adho Uttanasana. So the hands come to the shins and the spine is long. So draw your heart forward away from your hips. And then we exhale to fold again. Elbows to knees or hands to floor. Inhale. A long spine, Adho Uttanasana. And where your hands land on those shins doesn't really matter as long as you really feel your back arching and the hamstring stretching. We exhale to release. And let's do that one more time. Inhale, Adho Uttanasana. Halfway lift. Exhale to come down. Next in-breath, we roll up through the spine. Let's circle the arms really wide, really high. Extended mountain pose. And as we exhale again, bringing the hands down to the heart center. Tree pose, Vrksasana. So beginning by lifting the right foot. If you want to hold on to something, that's completely fine. Otherwise, I'll give you three options here. Option one, toes are on the floor and your heel is resting on your ankle. Option two, foot is below the knee. Option three, foot can be above the knee. Just make sure your foot is not on the knee, so it's either above or below it, because our knee does not like to bend sideways. From here, your tree pose. Inhale, lift the arms. And we exhale to open the branches of our tree, nice and wide. Finding our drishti, our focus point with the eyes. So just look at something still, maybe the floor in front of you, to help you stabilize. Inhale, hands up, and together. Exhale, hands down to heart center, and we release down, nice and gentle. How did you go on that side? Let's try the other. Option here, or lift your leg a little higher, whatever works. We find our focus point, and we breathe in to lift the arms. Breathe out to open the branches of your tree and just get a sense of really expanding here. Reaching for the sunlight. Also get a sense of your roots extending down into the earth, stabilizing you. And if you're swaying in the wind, you are the perfect tree, aren't you? Inhale, arms lift up, come together. And we exhale, hands come back to the heart center. We release. Big breath in, circling the arms. And as we breathe out, hands travel through the heart center. Feet can be hip distance apart or together as we fold again, enjoying that stretch for the back body. So from here, we're going to roll down onto our backs. So tuck one leg in underneath you, and we take a seat. If you prefer to stay standing, you can do these back bends in standing. I will show you a couple of options once I have showed you the bridge pose, which is down here. So, rolling down onto our backs, we come into Setu Bandha Sarangasana bridge pose. Bringing our feet hip distance apart. Pigeon toe your feet a little, so toes are in, heels are out. We breathe in to press the sacrum, the lower back into the floor. And from here we breathe out to lift the hips into bridge pose. Really squeeze the glutes and engage the back body. If you're in standing over here, your option is to come to camel pose. So for camel, the hands come to the lower back. We inhale to lift the chest, exhale to roll the shoulders back, and then again, squeeze the glutes, push the hips forward. And we can find a back bend over here, just opening through the front of the body, the front of the chest, the front of the hips. Going to whatever position feels good. You might relax the neck, or maybe your chin is tucked in. Let's all return to center, standing or lying on the floor. If you're on the floor, just rolling down one vertebra at a time, all the way down. And then we hug our knees to our chest. Maybe rock a little side to side. If you're in standing, maybe you swing your arms side to side, just loosening up the back, rotating. And let's do that one more time, just because it's so good for us. So heels come hip distance apart, pigeon toe a little. We breathe in to press the sacrum down, and we breathe out to lift the hips. If you're quite mobile in your spine and your shoulders, maybe you'd like to take this further. So we can clasp the hands underneath us. We can tuck the shoulders in, and from here, just really driving the hips up, driving the chest closer to the chin for a deeper back bend. Again, the main thing here is always to listen to our bodies. Honor our bodies, honor our breath. If we're holding our breath, we're definitely taking it too far. So just make sure you can always breathe and be comfortable in yoga. Wherever we are, releasing, coming back to a neutral spine. And let's hug our knees to our chest. So now coming toward the end of our yoga practice, we're going to take a couple of twists. If you're on the floor, opening the arms wide and simply letting the knees fall to one side. If you're seated in a chair, come on down onto your seat. And from here, you can hook the one hand on the outside of the thigh and just look back behind us. Maybe you open the arm. Maybe just let your arm rest down. And wherever we are, coming through the center, inhale, so lift your knees up if you're on the floor. And exhale, we let the knees fall to the other side, or we rotate here. So looking back, really twisting. Twists are really good for our internal organs. They rinse the digestive organs, bring new nutrients to all the main areas of the torso, and it flushes away our toxins as well. From here, coming back to center, if you're on the floor, bring your knees up, hug them to your chest again. And we're going to come into Savasana. So this is our corpse pose, our resting position. If you choose to stay up, maybe you'd like to lie down on a sofa, or you can sit on your chair in a quiet meditation if you like. The rest of us will simply lie down on our backs. Let the feet fall out to the sides. Let your arms rest alongside your body, a little bit away from you. And we're going to turn the palms upwards. This is our gesture of receiving. We've done the doing, we've done the work, and now it's time to receive. Receive whatever it is that we need today. So you just allow yourself to close down the eyes and embrace the stillness of your corpse pose of Savasana. Savasana is about stillness of the body, but also stillness of the mind. Some yoga teachers will tell you that this is the most important part of our practice. This is where we become quiet and calm. Most yoga teachers will also tell you that it's the most difficult pose. Because when the body becomes still and effortless, the mind tends to become really active. So to deal with what we in yoga call the monkey mind, the thoughts jumping from subject to subject, always going off on a tangent, let's try to keep our awareness inside. Whenever you feel your mind wandering, bringing your awareness back to your breath. Noticing the inhales and noticing the exhales. And also that beautiful space in between the breaths. Just really inviting the relaxation into our body. And just notice where you can feel your breath today. Can you feel it flowing through your nostrils, the back of the throat, the windpipe? Maybe you can feel a gentle roll of your collarbones. Maybe there's some movement in the shoulders from your breath. Chest rising and falling. Perhaps you feel your ribcage expanding sideways. Maybe you can feel your back ribs pressing into the floor, the surface underneath you, behind you. Can you feel the rise and fall of your belly? Expanding forwards, sideways, maybe even backwards. And from here, your option is to simply stay and relax. Your option is to just keep focusing on your breath, taking this time for you, to give your body, your mind some well-deserved rest. So if you want to stay in your meditation, your savasana, please do so. If you feel like you are finished with your practice, starting to gently bring some movement back into the fingers, the toes, moving the wrists, moving the ankles. Maybe just gently turning the head side to side to wake up the mind. And we start to resurface, starting to come back into our day. Rolling over onto any side you like and gently coming up into a comfortable seat, sitting however we feel is most comfortable for us right now. And we finish again, bringing our hands to our heart center for Anjali Mudra, the mudra of the essential heart. Giving thanks to ourselves for taking this time to nourish our body, to nourish our mind and our spirit. And let's take one last breath together to seal off our practice. So breathing in, circling the arms wide and high. Bringing the hands together above the head. And as we breathe out, bringing the thumbs to the third eye center, the space between your eyebrows. For clarity in our thoughts today. Bringing our thumbs down to our lips. For sweetness in our words today. Bring our hands down to our heart center for love, compassion, and kindness in our actions toward others and toward ourselves, today and always. Namaste. So friends, thank you so much for joining me for yoga practice today, the first one that we are doing together. In the future, I hope that you will join me for more. I really appreciate you taking the time to spend this time with me doing yoga, and also give yourself thanks, just like I mentioned, to take this time for you today, to nourish your body and mind. Yoga is really about acceptance, yoga is about enjoyment, so let's try to keep this beautiful peace of mind and this lovely attitude as we go into our day, and I hope you really enjoy your day. Thank you.